Okay, today's video is going to cover solving systems using elimination, and it says addition and subtraction here. Well, we're just going to make it all addition. There was some confusion over the subtraction part of elimination, so we're just going to change it so that it's only addition. So the steps for solving these problems are as follows. First, you're going to create opposite numbers in front of one variable. Then you're going to add the equations together to eliminate one variable. Then you're going to solve for the remaining variable. And then lastly, you're going to substitute and solve for the second variable. So you'll see what that looks like when we go through the examples. Okay, so you can see here we've got the two equations that are given to us, and the first step is to create opposites. So if you're looking at the x variables right now, you've got -5 and you've got a +5. These are opposite numbers, so they're already created for us. So we can move into step 2. Now that we've got our opposites, we can go ahead and add the equations. So when you add the equations, what you're doing is you're just adding straight down. So the numbers in front of x you add together, the numbers in front of y you add together, and then these constants over here you're going to add together. So as we add, we know that the x variable is going to eliminate. -5 plus 5 is 0x. 4 plus 3 is 7y, and -14 plus 7 is a -7. When you have 0 in front of a variable, that means it's been eliminated. So we can just go squiggle this out. It's gone. And so now we've got one equation with one variable we can go ahead and solve for. So we're going to step 3, we're going to go ahead and solve for y. So for solving for y here, we're going to divide both sides by 7. We get y equals -1. Very easy there. Now the last step is the longest step. Step 4, we're going to substitute y and solve for x, because x was the variable that we don't know yet. So we can choose either equation to substitute y in for. I'm going to elect to use this bottom equation. So we've got 5x plus 3 times y is -1, so we can just say 3 times -1 equals 7. Now we've got an equation with just one variable. We can go ahead and simplify the 3 times -1 to a -3 and bring the rest down. Now we can use inverse operations to first eliminate what's being subtracted. So we're going to add 3 to both sides, and we get 5x equals 10. And now we can divide by 5, and we get x equals 2. Write your final answer as a coordinate point. X comes first, 2, comma, -1. This will be the last example that we do today. Here we've got step 1. So we got to create opposites. Now if you look at these equations, we do not have opposites that were created. In this equation we had -5 and 5. Those opposite numbers were given to us. Here we've got -6 and -2. Those aren't opposites. And we've got +6 and +6. Those aren't opposites, but they are the same number. So creating opposites is very, very easy here. All we're going to do is we're going to take this bottom equation and we're going to multiply it by -1. When we do that, what we get is -1 times -2 is a +2. -1 times a +6 is a -6, and a -1 times a -14 is a +14. So we just multiply this -1 all the way through. I'm now just going to bring this top equation down and write it right on top of it. So we created the opposites. Now step 2, once we've got our opposites, we know that when we add, one of the variables is going to eliminate, so we're going to add to eliminate, and in this case, the variable that's going to eliminate is y, because that's the variable that has the opposites. We've got these opposites, they're going to eliminate. So I'm not even going to write it as we add down. So we've got -6 plus 2, that's a -4. Y's been eliminated to 0. 0y does not need to be written. And then 18 plus 14 is a +32. Step 3, here we're just going to solve for x. So we'll divide by -4, divide by -4, and what we're left with is x equals a -8. Now for the final step, we're going to take what we know about x, and we're going to substitute it and solve for y. So -8 can be replaced in x for either one of these equations. I'm going to use the equation that we originally multiplied before we multiplied. So -2 times -8 plus 6, y equals a -14. We can go ahead and simplify this. So I'm going to go ahead and simplify it and write it up here. What we get is 16 plus 6y equals -14. This multiplication is what we simplified. Now we can use inverse operations to solve. Minus, minus. We're left with 6y equals -30. And we can divide both sides by 6, and we get y equals -5. Our coordinate point here is -8, comma, -5. X before y.